What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the BBB Gaming News channel. If you want to hear the other side of the news, subscribe and turn on notifications. In today's video, we are doing a little bit of a follow-up surrounding these new NERF bans that have been happening surrounding Silent Aim. So, let's crack on with the news. In a recent video, we actually posted about how messages were going out into these cheat development Discord servers where they were talking to their community about the new bans that are occurring from Activision. And it would appear that Silent Aim isn't registering their bullets anymore. Even if you are hitting a target, for some reason these bullets are not having any effect on the enemy. And we've actually got video proof now from somebody on Facebook Gaming who goes by the name of Hacking Fredward, who is one of those who just rage hacks or uses cheats live on stream, very open and honest about it, but he uses multiple different ones, and we've actually featured him on the channel before and on the BadBoyBeaman channel, where he was using about 5 different cheat providers all at once. But today's video is a little bit more than just about the nerf. I actually want to ask some questions about this and find some answers out as well. So we're going to play the clip through for you now of Hacking Fredward, where he's having issues having his bullets registered on the enemy.
Oh, bro. Look at that, bro. How?
Now, while it might still seem like he's hitting shots and actually registering bullets, that is the case. It just appears that his bullets aren't doing anywhere near as much damage as they would do if he wasn't actually using cheats. So now this brings me to the questions. There's actually a lot longer on that video. I just don't want to play it all the way through, to be honest. You can see within the clip we've shown that the bullets are hitting, they're just not registering as much as they should, as much damage as they should, that is. But this is the big question now, and this is something that was brought up a long time ago when some paperwork of Activision actually come to light, and people were talking about it, saying about damage, saying about how lower tier players are actually protected through the skill-based matchmaking, saying how their hitbox on their enemies is larger than others, or saying how people who are really good at the game and to, increase skill-based matchmaking and make their games harder, it's in fact giving them smaller hitboxes on the enemies. And obviously people know that you can have good games and bad games, but how many times have you been in a gunfight and say the guy's facing away from you, you're shooting him in the back, and he is able to turn around and do you? How many times has that happened to people? Happens all the time. How many times do you see it happen? And how many times do you go and check that lobby maybe on codtracker.gg and it find out that the person who killed you was in fact like a 0.2 KD player? Okay, so now take this into consideration. The cheat providers have come out and spoken about this nerf ban and how it's not actually shadow banning people anymore for using cheats, but in fact it's just nerfing the damage that their bullets are able to do with their cheats. So this shows that if that is in fact what has happened, and based on the footage that we've seen so far, it does appear to be happening. If that is the case, that means that Activision have always had the ability to nerf whether or not somebody can do more or less damage. So does that mean that Activision have been able to hand people wins and decrease the chances of people getting a win, or winning a gunfight at least? I think so. I think it really does show that they've been able to do this for a while, and now they've just decided to incorporate it into some way of stopping cheaters. Well, it's not going to stop cheaters, but maybe it'll make them think twice before using it if it's going to turn their 100% damage into a 10% damage. Although we don't know the percentages yet, I'm sure we will find out in future dates. But at the moment, you are seeing prime examples of Hacking Fredward really not understanding what's going on. And the fact is, his bullet should well have killed that guy there and then, because he didn't miss one, he was on target the whole time. But for some reason, it is nerfed his damage. And this is a good thing in a sense, but to think that these guys and other large content creators in the past have denied the fact that Activision can actually do that, can actually somewhat sway a game in favour of certain players. And now you are seeing this incorporated into the Team Ricochet side of things to stop cheaters actually getting the damage that their bullets should be getting. So that just shows that it's a possibility that Activision can do that, which means how many times has it happened to a legit player? Which means how many times will it happen to a legit player if for some reason a legitimate player ends up doing the same bullet pattern as these guys who are cheating? What if you managed to pull that off just once in 100,000 gunfights? Just once you pull that off and end up getting your damage nerfed on your bullets. I mean, if that is something that's happening and it's happening on an instant basis, then this could actually backfire on Activision and cause their legitimate players to get caught up in it. And then now you've got to ask yourself this: how many times since you've been playing Call of Duty Warzone Caldera have you been having a run of good games? You are lasering people and then out of nowhere, you can't hit a shot. You could be aiming at them, hitting every shot, and they turn on you and kill you. How many times has that happened in Caldera? Forget Verdansk for a second. How many times has that happened since the integration of Warzone Caldera, since the integration of Ricochet Anti-Cheat? I think that might well have been happening to legitimate players across the last couple of months. But we have no way to prove that yet, and at this point I do think it is a possibility, but it definitely seems to be happening to these cheaters. And let's continue watching some more of this footage now.
It might just be the gun. Look, there's no way, bro. How?
And you can see in that clip, he was actually able to down the enemy. It looked like he had headshot only aimbot on in that clip. And after he's downed the enemy, his bullets just didn't seem to want to hurt the enemy. He must have put about 15 to 20 bullets into that enemy's head once he was downed, and they just were not registering. How many times have you been shooting at an enemy and your bullets don't register, or don't appear to be registering for some reason? How many gulags have you lost where you should quite clearly have won? How many times do you think Activision have screwed you out of a win, or at least a win in a gunfight? Well, if we find out any more about this, guys, we're going to be sure to keep you posted here on the BBB Gaming News channel. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. BBB, over and out.